Do you want to learn how to become a hacker? Like the stuff you see in the movies and on the TV shows where the guy just busts out a computer, can shut the whole world down if he wants to. Do you want to become somebody as cool as that guy? Well, then stay tuned, because this is Oregon Native Tech and PC Games, where we do computer stuff and things. And in this series, we're going to learn all about hacking. What is hacking? How to hack? Tools you need? How to make tools? We could even go as deep as building computers if you guys really wanted to go back that far. But I was planning on just starting with the penguin. And starting from the penguin on, basically. So, if you're new to computers and this kind of thing, you may be thinking to yourself at this moment, what the hell's he talking about? A penguin? Well, I'm talking about this little penguin. Not the Family Guy, folks, but the system running it. This computer right here is a complete desktop, but its computer is only this big, about that thick. It looks a little bigger because it's inside of a Lego case that me and my son made, so we made a little Lego computer case for it. But in actuality, it only takes up this much space inside the Lego case, so 2/3 of the case is just empty space. So that's called an orange pie. This one here is a similar concept. This one's called a raspberry pie. It's another cool little neat item that can be used for hacking and pen testing networks and working on networks. This is a complete Linux operating system, desktop, running on a computer that literally fits in the palm of my hand. It runs off a little Bluetooth keyboard and mouse touchpad. Then you have your traditional desktop computer, where we will be running a virtual system, a virtual PC. Basically what that is you select how much of your computer components and abilities you want to donate to this second computer. And once you set it up, it believes it's the only computer. It doesn't know that it's inside of another computer. It thinks it is the computer. So you can then do things with it. For example, we're gonna hack it. We're gonna hack virtual computer. We're gonna hack the actual desktop itself. We're gonna hack my network. We're gonna hack one of my neighbor's network up the road who has volunteered his network for a video to try and penetrate his network. We're gonna do all kinds of cool little neat fun things in this series while we learn how to become ethical hackers. There are 3 kinds of hackers in the world: white hat, black hat, gray hat. White hat is an ethical hacker. They have permission to break into the things they break into. They do reports, they give them to the company. The company takes those reports, makes changes, moves on, pays to have their system and network tested again. Cycle continues. A gray hat hacker is somebody, maybe they're a script kiddie, somebody that has learned some hacking skills but hasn't learned what's legal, what's not legal, doesn't necessarily care what's legal or not legal because they're not planning on doing any kind of big heist or anything like that. But they might be curious one day when they're out in public and try to break into somebody's network just to see if they can. That's illegal. Nobody's ever gonna know, and they're not doing anything wrong to their network after they break into it. They just want to see if they can. You see, they didn't do anything wrong, but they did. Or they did something wrong, but they had good intentions. That's a gray hat hacker. That's somebody that's trying to ride in the gray areas and hope that they don't get in any kind of trouble because they're not really doing anything nefarious. But the fact remains, breaking into a network you didn't have permission to in the first place is nefarious in nature. Therefore, everything you do after that is all nefarious. Even if you're depositing money, even if you break into somebody's network just to give them money, that's still nefarious because you broke into the network. Last but not least, we have black hat hackers. They're just the straight up bad guys that are just stealing people's information, selling it, damaging people's hardware, damaging people's company infrastructure. All those things are black hat hackers. So here we're going to learn how to be white hat hackers, how to do things the right way, legally, and the goal is at the end is for you guys to be as close to ready to get your certified ethical hacker certificate as possible. And once I have my certificate, I'll be glad to show it off for you guys. But hopefully, you guys are right along or right behind me with your certificates. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you a penguin. So like I said, this is a tiny little computer that's an entire desktop. You have internet browser, whatever you need to do. And there's the penguin. So this is what's known as Linux. Linux is an operating system like Windows with all the restrictions and cages and everything that locks Windows down to where you can't make changes to certain settings and certain things because you could harm your computer. Yeah, that's true. But don't worry. These operating systems are not as easy to break as you think they would be. And it's not that hard to learn, really. As long as you take your time and you can follow detailed instructions, we'll get through it just fine. Just make sure you do exactly as I say, or type exactly as I type. If it's capital, make it capital. If it's not, make it not. You have to do things exactly like you see on my screen or like you hear me tell you to do, because if you do one little thing off, it will break the whole process on pretty much any command. So, detail is key. If you have a keen mind, you can follow detail. You're about to be a hacker. So let's go. Let's find your Linux distribution. I'll give you a hint. It's probably Kali. But you're welcome to investigate different distributions. But for the purpose of this series, we're going to be using Kali, and that's what I recommend. K-A-L-I. K-A-L-I-L-I. K-A-L-I. Kali. Linux. Now, this right here is an orange pie. Oops. So right now, we have Kali finishing installation on the big computer. This computer is a 6-core 12-thread with a 12-gig graphics card, 32 gigs of RAM at 3200 megahertz on an M.2. So, it's pretty quick, and it does plenty. And the virtual machine that I'm making right now for Kali has access to pretty much all the assets. So, I gave it 12 cores. I gave it 30 gigs, or I gave it 10 cores and 30 gigs, because I want to have some room to run background processes if I need to while it's working. But I basically gave it my whole computer to work with. So when that thing starts to brute force on anything, I'm hoping for it to go faster when I need a faster brute force done. Here we have Armbium. Armbium is a distribution of Linux that was made specifically for this Raspberry Pi. And Armbium is its own distribution, but it feels a lot like Linux. Sorry, Kali. They're both Linux. But it feels a lot like Kali. And the tools are set up a lot like Kali. It's made for pen testing and security work, it feels like. Same way that Kali feels like it's made for security work. So, one last thing before we are ready to go is a disclaimer. The things that I'm teaching you cannot be done to other people. You can't take this information and go and do it to somebody else without breaking the law, unless you get illicit permission. Therefore, doing these things in a manner other than the way that I teach you in this video is illegal. and you can go to jail. I'm required to make sure that everybody fully understands that the things that I'm teaching here are for learning purposes, for learning ethical hacking. They are not here for the purpose of learning how to do it just so you can go break the law. That is not my intention. That is not my purpose behind these videos. My purpose is to help train more of the good guys, not the bad guys. But at the same time, I can't choose if you're going to be good or bad. That's your choice. So here's the information. And what you do with it is on you, not me. So with that being said, if you haven't been scared away yet, and you think you can handle it, hit that like and subscribe button. Because starting in the next video, in 2 days from now, we're going to be finding your distribution of Linux, finding where you download it, downloading it, installing it, and we're going to start tearing into the meat of it. But we'll also have nice little kickback little chats as well, where we talk about purposes and just help you gain a deeper understanding of what we're doing and why. Why is it important? Why do you do it? Why can't you skip it? All these things will be covered in the process, as long as you like and subscribe. If I find out you're watching this video, I'm just going to give you a bunch of questions without answers. Just kidding. I have no way of knowing that or controlling that. But you should still subscribe. Peace.